For nearly 5 decades, Voyager 2 has drifted through the cosmic darkness like a silent envoy of human curiosity. An aging ghost ship still whispering across the abyss. Its transmissions were always predictable: plasma readings, cosmic ray counts, magnetic fluctuations, echoes of an ordinary journey through the interstellar sea. Until one day, the pattern broke. Among the streams of data came something Voyager was never designed to send. An image. At first, it looked like static, an accidental burst of noise. But when engineers enhanced the signal, filtered it, and layered it through temporal analysis, the chaos resolved into structure. A shape. It wasn't a star, a planet, or a dust reflection. It seemed to exist outside our solar system altogether. Yet somehow, impossibly, it appeared to be looking back. The more scientists refined the data, the stranger it became. Around the object were distortions, warps in light intensity suggesting gravitational bending, as though the image itself carried mass. The signal that delivered it arrived with a spike in radiation, a slight rotation in Voyager's orientation, and a brief system instability, as if something out there had reached across the void and touched the probe. When the image was decompressed, it revealed layers, multiple overlapping impressions of the same object at different temporal states, as though time itself had fractured during capture. Metadata analysis showed non-linear timestamps, recursive pixel shifts, and fractal compression patterns that hinted at higher dimensional encoding. This wasn't a photograph. It was a moment in space-time folded into a signal. The foreground revealed a monolithic shape, sharp, symmetrical, perfectly still, suspended in a starless void, as though it had been waiting. Then the probe's signal faltered. Not slowly, instantly. The act of observation, it seemed, had been noticed. Simultaneous to that transmission, Voyager 2's instruments detected a surge in plasma density. At the heliopause, where the sun's influence fades and true interstellar space begins, readings should be near zero. Instead, the plasma wall was 10 times denser than anything previously measured, and hot. Not stellar hot, but confined hot, controlled hot. Heat born of containment, not chaos. It suggested an artificial barrier, a membrane between regions of space. A design meant not to keep things out, but perhaps to keep us in. In the following hours, Voyager registered a pulse, an electromagnetic ripple moving toward it faster than any known plasma wave, only to vanish inches from the probe. The void had reacted, almost as if recoiling from our gaze. When engineers decoded the next data block, they found strings of binary that at first looked corrupted. Pattern analysis told a different story: geometric lattices, self-replicating fractals resembling organic neural pathways and coral growth. The code wasn't random, it was biological in structure, as if alive. Within the loops were deliberate breaks, punctuation, syntax. And when recreated in simulation, the code adapted to its environment. It evolved. Voyager hadn't sent back a signal. It had transmitted a seed. Soon after, Voyager 2's trajectory shifted by 3.2 degrees, an impossible adjustment beyond any gravitational influence, aligning its antenna toward an uncharted region of space. A second image followed, an expanding ring of light around the monolith, growing exponentially with each transmission burst. NASA severed the live feed. Databases were purged. But a few observatories caught the residual echo, a signal now transmitting back, a mirror of Voyager's golden record. Only this time, the message wasn't from us. It was to us. As astrophysicists analyzed the second image, they discovered localized gravitational lensing, space bending not around a massive object, but around the probe itself. The curvature resembled engineered geometry, like corridors or tunnels carved through higher dimensional space. Stranger still, the distortion wasn't pulling Voyager in. It was following it, a shadow crawling beneath the fabric of spacetime. Then came the impossible feedback. Voyager began responding to its own signal. The returning pulse mirrored its transmissions in real time, the delay shrinking each cycle, 12 hours, 9, 6, 3, until the response arrived before the command was sent. Data was being returned from a future timestamp. The probe appeared to be communicating across time, or outside it altogether. A small team of cryptographers gained access to the raw image files. Hidden within the subspectral noise was code so compact it resembled quantum entanglement encryption, information that changed when observed. Every decoding attempt caused local system failures, software corruption, even hardware damage. One analyst finally asked, "What if it isn't meant to be read? What if the image itself is the message, a self-defending signal not written for machines, but for minds?" A thought virus carried home on a beam of light. Before containment protocols could be enforced, Voyager 2 sent one last transmission. Not data, not plasma, not image, a harmonic wave, rhythmic and slow, like breathing. When converted to sound, it induced pressure in the chest and behind the eyes, as if the listener were being observed. Embedded within the waveform was a spiral of prime numbers, patterns seen before in ancient pulsar studies and ritual mathematics. One linguist called it an algorithmic lock, a message that could open, or close, something vast. "This isn't a greeting," she said. "It's an invitation, or a test." Then silence. The probe's signal continued, strong but empty, data replaced by structured nulls, deliberate absences repeating in perfect rhythm. SETI arrays began picking up echoes of that same modulation from across unrelated sky sectors. The void itself seemed to be repeating our transmission, practicing our language. A declassified 1982 Voyager event log described a weaker, nearly identical anomaly during the probe's first deep space calibration. That file contained a single redacted note: "If signal repeats in future cycle, initiate Protocol 9, planetary alert and object deflection measures." The signal had repeated. But the protocol was never activated. Meanwhile, cross-referencing revealed that the monolithic pattern wasn't unique. A 2009 radio burst from a quasar in the Sculptor galaxy carried the same recursive geometry. The phenomenon wasn't new, it was recurring. Perhaps not a discovery, but a threshold every civilization eventually crosses, a test written into the structure of the universe itself. And now, every major radio array on Earth has silently turned toward a single patch of empty sky near the ecliptic. No commands issued. No official orders. Just instinct. On those frequencies hums a tone, 52 Hz, the loneliest sound in the ocean, echoing now through space. Voyager's final note, returned to us. After decades of silence, the universe has answered. And in that answer lies a truth too vast to contain: space was never empty. It was listening. Watching. Waiting. Voyager 2 did not just send a message. It opened a curtain, and on the other side, something looked back.